As we begin as light, breathing in with our soul, deeply breathing in, continue to inhale, expanding the lungs, and breathing out all the way, breathing out, breathe in, hold in, breathe out. Welcome, dear loved ones. I am getting ready to read the cards. I brought the cards. It's that special moment. And it's pick a number between 1 and 5. A special number to help you see inside. Could be the number of more than 1, 2. Pick this number that feels right to you. So pick a number between 1 and 5. The number picked will help for you to decide what comes next in the reality, to take action, to pause and to be. Maybe one of those, maybe all of those. Probably not to pause. We're pretty fast forward right now. Some moments we take moments to breathe okay. Alright, so let's do this. Number 5. Number 3. Wait, do I want that? I wanted that as number 1 and number 3. I'm going to do it on number 1. So I'll do 5, 1. And those who want to choose 3, 2 with that one, I think that number 3 message is also going to be for the ones who choose number 1. And vice versa. We'll see. I think it's if you choose number 1, then it's going to be 3 or versa, yeah. This one's 4 with 3 cards. 2 from the top, 1 from the bottom. Oh, 1 from the bottom, 1 from the middle. What if I get more? 4. So 5, 4, 1. 2. And there's 2 sides for number 3, as one would imagine. 3 is one of those tonight, not just tonight, but number 3 has to do with spirit, consciousness, heart, soul journey. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many of you chose a number? Okay, so we're going to do number 1. And with number 1, I will read into number 3 occasionally if there's questions that come up. If there's not just questions, if there's feelings that I should and I'm supposed to communicate about the number 3 ones also. Thanks. Okay, so with the number 9, with the number 9, assessing the experience and the situations, the experiences that occur, taking moments to study everything around you, everything that you're doing, study yourself, study those who are close to you, study the environment, study the elements. They're not elements. Study our urus, the way that the waves are, the way the sounds of the winds of our sacred air comes through so vibrantly, vibrating. Study the way the flames dance and the colors based on the cold or the spiritual practice or ceremony. Or even if you're doing s'mores, barbecuing outdoors with an open fire, make sure that you appreciate it and give thanks to each of the elements that have come to sustain with us in ways to help us to feel comfort. Assessing the situation and the earth around you. So, what are you drinking? What are you eating? What music are you listening to? What are you watching? And what are you doing about the experiences that make your heart feel uncomfortable about them? Assessing that situation specifically shows working with the waning to help remove that pain the same way, so that that connection isn't there, like there's not disdain the same. Because as a studying individual, you no longer are connecting yourself to bleed out. You're doing it in a conscious way to study others' behaviors, their consciousness. What do they need? What are they working through? What are their triggers? How can you not get affected by what they're going through, but help them acknowledge that they need to work on themselves also? With the waxing, work on that with number 40, which is stability that feels sustainable through healing in the darkness. In the moments when you have solitude, it's not really solitude, but in the moments that you feel like you are able to lay peacefully and be and work through those areas. The next shows that one must begin to trust again with the number 31. The heart, the soul, consciousness, and the oneness integration with each other. With faith. Breathing in the light of self-love to the expansions of courage, confidence, focus, and determination. Not determination, focus. With that one comes opening up the boundaries to create an expansion, to be able to make things occur. Trusting and believing is beautiful, but one has to branch out also. Do you think trees, like when they're growing, the tree beings, hold on, let me put that there. That when they're growing, that they're like, oh, let me stay like, you want to cross branches or roots. Like, oh, there's a worm. They don't, it's not like that thing. It's very expansive. For them to be able to grow and to be loved and nurtured, they have to allow the worms to crawl around them and poop around them, and they have to allow their roots to go deep enough to get to the source of nectar of Uru, which is flowing deep within Gaia. And they have to allow mushrooms to grow on them. Some moments they eat them and consume them, but they are there in an ecosystem of existence to be able to thrive. So trusting and believing is beautiful, but if you're locking yourself up and you're not willing to branch out and try something new, then let me tell you, you got to try to branch out somehow. It has to be in the heart, the soul, experiences, through centering and doing it in a comfortable space. If it just seems very overwhelming to physically be around others, if it's something that has to do with that, then consciously conduct a way to integrate with those who are like thee in some ways, someone who has similarities, and become friends. We have online video options. One of my children is homeschooling and has lots of friends globally who are also homeschooling. And just because they're homeschooling and they don't really get out the same way, they love and enjoy each other's company, even from where they're at. And taking moments to really trust and believe that you are going to be able to get out of that little pocket that you've been hiding in and crunch through those layers, because you have to open up some of those areas and boundaries so that you don't have to suffer. It was interesting. Never mind, I'm not going to go into that right now. I'll take a picture of it and talk about it another moment. All right, shows with 30, so I'll have to tell you the number. 3 and 1 integration, so that makes 4 for stability. The next is 3 and 7 together, which is a stability of consciousness through where one has come from in the heavens, and 2 when one has come into the other planetary realms and womb planets within the wombs that you inhabited, even the ships, all the way up, and the expansion of consciousness to where you're at now, where your heart and soul is. And it shows with this number specifically, so 7, then you add 3, 8, 9, 10, then it's a 1. And with that, it's that oneness integration of peacefulness, of I have been able to integrate those experiences, because it is an integration to be able to get from the heaven to the, maybe you hit rock bottom and then you had to climb up the ladder again to get through that consciously. And then now it's possible to help others who are trying to climb up the ladder again, or are on their way or fallen down it and need guidance at some point. So it's really healthy with that integration of oneness integration for sustainability with the 0. It's really helpful. Shows fruition. The next one shows blossoming. With the integrations of consciousness of the soul, with the integration of the soul, the consciousness within the heart, through the consciousness of the soul, the heart, the consciousness in the vessel, the presence of being. Blossoming and expanding, glowing, vibrating, ready to be, shining through the heart, soul, consciousness. The next one shows focusing with the oneness integration, and the 4 with positive changes of structure. See, we put 1 and 4 together, which makes 5, which makes positive changes. So with the oneness integration, that stability, it's stability. It's a focus. It's a I am, I love, I am being who I am meant to be. And then the 4, integration for stability, positive change, positive transformations. Transformation. If you haven't seen my music video, I'll post it, from Dr. Dubinstein. They just recently put that song out in Europe again on some film thing. I had to take it off of my website for sale so that they could get copyright over there to use it, but they said that I could have it back after they release it, which I'm guessing doesn't have a copyright on it, but hey, you know. The next one, I already claimed it on the BMI with, and I put the dude's name, Dr. Dubinstein, on it, so I did it correctly. It's all good. So the next one is focusing on, focusing on the stability for the positive change. One must be conscious about transforming and changing. The transformation within the structure of beingness and the soulness and the wholeness of being. Comprehension, more than that. It's more like feeling the light from the soul flowing through the consciousness, washing through the consciousness from the soul up through the heart. What is felt to say, what is felt to complete inside of beingness. The next is releasing past persecutions. Look at this one, has like babushkas flying, butterflies flying from the heart. Releasing during the waning, and right now is the waning, for the waning options to be able to do that. It's really perfect. With the integration of working together through the experiences of I'm not allowing myself to be corded with devastation. I am ready to release the cords of persecutions. I help myself by allowing myself to release those griefs, those burdens and shackles, those attacks, unnecessary, those devastations of any and all types of devastations. One must accomplish the ability to love, to heal, to be loved, and to transform through the experiences. The next one is take action with the oneness positive change experience, which brings it to a 6, which is be careful. Because when the 6 comes in from the oneness integration with positive changes, then there's like, oh, it's like really special. It's so exciting. There's all these new experiences. Be centering. Do not forget to be in feeling in soul, heart expansion of consciousness through the experiences so that one and beings do not get distracted. Distraction is not an option. The moments are now. Look around us globally. I love to dance. I love to enjoy company of loved ones, but I have chosen, and it's called If You Pay Me to Come, I'll Come. Yeah, to hire me to come do events. Like I love to perform and do them, but for you, you have to take action through dancing, through ceremony. It shows a lot of dancing, a lot of freedom, a lot of like either, it seems like drums, boom, 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 boom. Listen to drums from around the global and listen to them. Like they have them around the world is what I'm supposed to tell you so that you can look that up. Those words specifically. Drums from around the world. And then you look up ancient, and then fill in that blank. Drums. Beautiful. That was if you chose number 1. That was a long one. Number 2 is even longer. Just letting you know. It's a lot. Okay, so number 2 shows the oneness, soul expansive experience of feeling complete bliss through the acknowledgement and acceptance of loving oneself as if one was one's own parent. To that level of deep compassion, deep, intimate soul love, that it is very acknowledged by others that you take care of your heart space as well as your being, where you're very protective and overprotective of yourself and your loved ones. Shows working with that passion and that feeling with pleasure. Find ways that bring you into a place of pleasure through deep heart, soul expansion of light, of soul, all the way through, giving much jubilation of celebrations. The next shows the integration of soul, heart, consciousness with the integration of connectedness. Could be a relationship, could be a partnership, could be a family. Little peckies. And then let's look at that again. The couple inside holding on to each other. Trust. Building trust with relationships. 3 and 2 together bring 5 positive changes occur with that. Healthy relationships. Happy through heart, through love, through the consciousness of soul and each other's consciousnesses, hearts as well as souls. on the all integration of pure love. Trust, building and growing trust together. The next shows within the relationships with the 2 and the 6, within the relationship, something has to be adjusted. Shows the 6. And the 6 represents the experiences that have happened. So that shows there are certain trigger areas that have to get healed and worked through for peaceful integration. And with those together, 6 and 2, creating 8, when mastering and accomplishing the ability to heal through the triggers, one has the ability to find an infinite source of peacefulness inside. Shows surrendering. Releasing the feelings that, they did it on purpose, or others are there to attack and cause harm, and be conscious. Return to the place of beginning, which is the soul. Then when one experiences the experiences that feels like childbirth, feels like being pregnant, the pains and the experiences through some of the sufferings, the 6s, they look like a pregnant womb. And the experiences of that, it looks like it's about to pop, like it looks like, someone's about to go into labor or in labor by the position. It looks like a labor pose. And in honesty, the experiences of that 6 are what has to be forgiven through. Because some moments, beings are attracted to others who have similarities to the experiences that someone else had caused them to suffer through. And they are attracted to certain traits in their behaviors. So being really cautious, conscious, and careful. Take moments to go into the hermit mode. Take moments to be celibate. Take moments to self-recognize the past so that it does not get repeated in the future. Surrendering. Working through the void. So when there is the surrender, some moments it feels as if the crickets are your closest friends. And the sounds of the beautiful beings that wake and chirp, and those who howl or meow or wolf, are very trusted. Because you yourself are too tender to allow another so close in. But you have to learn how to trust and work through that to begin a new relationship. And that is working through the void. And that's the oneness. That's it. Taking moments to go within or to come inside. And even in relationships, we have to take moments to be. I have a beautiful closet space that is like I can sit in there and close the door if I wanted to. It's a wide open door. It's open from when my babies are in here so that they can get in. But if I had to take moments for specific moments, I let beings acknowledge that, and so should you. It's very healthy. The next is gratitude, appreciate love. With the relationships, the consciousness of their souls, including yours, hearts, their consciousness, their educations, their experiences, what they've shared with you, not to hurt them, not to be like, oh, I could use that against you, to help them heal. Because you want them to also help you heal by loving you also, and you to be loved by each other a certain way. It's important to love each other in a soul way where you're not intentionally seeking to harm them energetically, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, where you're being conscious of the experience. And that shows positive changes occur with that. That really does. It shows transformation, peaceful resting. Those who are getting ready to transform from their bodies, make sure to tell them that you love them, but also talk with them about what you want to say to them, what you want to talk to them about before they transform. And if you don't, you can do it after, but it's very, very important that even if they already have transformed, that you take moments to forgive them. And that helps the soul to expand. And there's also to release. If some of them who haven't crossed over, some of them they were holding on because others were holding on to them in certain ways, and they needed help to cross over. So it's beautiful when loved ones come to me for guidance, and they ask about loved ones who have messaged us, and they get to see so many layers and levels of realms that exist. The next one shows 4-4. That is stability, stability. And we put 4 and 4 together, and what does it create? The 8 for infinite spiritual wellness. Not only spiritual, but it's a psychological, emotional, spiritual healing that's occurring when it's an 8. When there's stability of soul, consciousness, vessel, and heart, it creates such a beautiful vibration of confidence and self-wellness, self-care. So then when we double that in, then that's really flowing in all the way through, around, and expanding that energy, expanding the light vibe of purity. But that energy has to be pure. It has to come from within. There has to be a pure light, and it takes practice. For those of you who are told you're not good enough, or you're dark, or you feel like you're bad, or you did something so wrong that you don't think your soul's okay, or you think you sold it. The soul is, our souls are sacred, our souls are pure, our souls are divine light. And it's not really an option to adjust that frequency for someone because of their current incarnation experiences in those ways. And I believe that that is something that was taught to others, that they could not be forgiven. But in reality, one must work on perfecting the heart and the soul to be pure. And that is working through the experiences and coming to a place of humble comprehension and forgiveness and acknowledgement that each of us have our own journeys. We each have experiences, and to assume that one was worse than somebody else's or yours is worse than another, you have not seen everything that has occurred to every being that exists. So taking away the assumptions, the judgments, the belittlements, and acknowledging that the soul is a soul. This is why it's important to shed away the layers of persecutions, of idealizations based on differences and segregations. Working on attracting with the stability. So we're working on bringing it in. It shows attraction. Attracting with the stability within. The next shows purity with the 3 and the 0. I can't believe there's so many of these. I want to take like a moment. I'm gonna do another video with the other two after, probably in the AM. The next one shows purity with the 3 and the 0. Or actually, I'll just like make a video on a different one and then post it. We'll see. It's just a lot for me right now because I've been sitting for like, how long is this now? Washing with light the soul, the heart, and the consciousness by removing the idealization of what is on the outside being seen and looking on the inside. I took moments and I had covered the mirrors for a long mini moon. I covered all the mirrors in the house, every single one of them, because I did not want to look at the parts of me that I did not like. And if I felt uncomfortable with it, I did not want to see that or even think about that or even imagine that. So I just covered those up. I also covered up the clocks to test myself to see if I could figure out what moment it was, because I do sessions, and when we would meet and things like that. And it was so funny to see that even when others tried to plan based on the time, that they would arrive right at the moment that I was already acknowledging that they were going to arrive, which would be sooner, or it just wouldn't even be a time. And then they would sit with me, and all the clocks are covered. And then it's for me, they eat food, they drink tea, they talk with me, and it seems like multiple hours have occurred. And then they are looking at their phone, and they see that there has been no time at all that has passed. And as a matter of fact, time itself has stopped. And this has happened to multiple individuals, just being in my presence. That's kind of things that you'd magically delicious. But to figure that out scientifically is a whole nother spectrum. However, NASA did say that the Earth does rotate in different ways. Some moments it's fast, some moments it's slow. And NASA themselves said that there's absolutely no way that they can even try and figure out what time actually is anymore. Because of the rotation of the Earth, they've lost track on how to count. So they have to come up with a different type of plan, they said. But right now there's so much happening galactically that they have no way to even figure it out, because it's new to them. They're not from millions and zillions of eons ago. Psychologically, some of them are babies, and they're just now discovering. So it shows working through purity by removing illusions, working on the inner path, which is breathing, listening, feeling, comprehending. What are you taking in? How does that feel? What does that feel like? Where is that affecting? What are you nourishing with? How does that feel? Can you feel that digesting? Does it hurt? Does it not hurt? How is your body receiving that? What about what you're listening to and what you're watching? What you're saying? Being really conscious, centered, cautious, listening, feeling, and being. Take moments to hide your mirrors. Trust that you are beautiful as you are. If you don't know how to do your maquillage already or your makeup already, and you've been doing it like since you were a child, then you should try and do it without a mirror. I'm telling you the truth, because you should already acknowledge how to draw your eyes if you've been doing it that long. If not, you don't have to worry. You can use a mirror for that. And just try not to look at the parts that you don't like about yourself. Try not to focus on the parts that you don't like or love about yourself. And just kind of work through those areas by purifying yourself. If you don't feel comfortable about yourself with something, then do something that's going to help you feel comfortable about it. Like do some squats, or do some long poses where you're just kind of like chilling side to side and stretching the back and spine and reaching up. It doesn't take too much, and squeezing like Bruce Lee used to like tighten the muscles. Do Bruce Lee exercises so that your body can be tight. If you're over certain, like if your legs are swollen, squeeze them, massage them. Your body needs you to do self-touch, self-care. And then purifying yourself and detoxing. When you're doing that, is going to help you to lessen swelling. Do parasite cleanse. That's really a big one. I just created a new product about that, and I have to make the label and everything like that. So I haven't put it yet on the websites. But I do have, it's purification. The next one is 21. Shows resilience. My daughter got me this deck for Christmas. Harmony Jade is the name. Shows 21. The integration of relationships that can become a oneness relationship, which is like solid relationship. And that has to do with children, that has to do with business, that has to do with relationships, has to do with even family experience, to say goodbye to some beings who are getting ready to transform. And that two and one together help to heal and create sustainability within the heart, from the soul and the soul heart consciousness. Resilience. It's like it's carrying an octopus in there. I don't think it wants to go in there. Thorns also in the basket. The next one shows releasing fears, shows fear. And it has to do with the resilience, working through fear, having fears. Shows 1-1, which is the it could be twin flame experience. If there's a twin flame that has been met and reintroduced. Heart healing through the experience. Look at those ravens. Healing through the experiences of what occurred, feeling like getting pulled around by different places and really going on the inside, lighting the inner light and glowing outwards to be able to take control of the situation and to stop the devastations. Do not fear. The one and the one integrated shows has to do with another, a relationship. Spiritually, working on integrating a strength to take control of the experience through resilience. The next one shows also working with protection for the relationship to be protected, for stability. Shows protection. What a beautiful image. Protecting the nest, the relationship. And that also, remember, can be painful when you put 4 and 2 together. That's a 6. And the 6 is like giving birth. Some moments how painful that feeling is, but in the heart area, the experiences of feeling devastation or just like being in fetal position and really being in the home and taking care of self-care, self-love, self-protection. Remembering that is extremely a necessary thing to do for the soul, for the heart, for the consciousness, to work through the experiences. The next one is 4 for stability and oneness, integration of wellness to center. The way to work through that for positive change is sovereignty, taking moments to be sovereign. The purity of the heart, soul consciousness, feeling loved and accepted and acknowledged as is, worthy, mighty, special, looking right what the qualities are that you carry, that you are, that you shine. Remember that you are one of the souls that you have been able to go through certain experiences to learn about your abilities. How are you? How do you feel when you are working through the experiences and acknowledging your self-worth? Feeling in that sovereignty of you are not owed to another in those ways, but one is deserving to be conscious of one's own sovereignty. For stability, and that was number 2. Hui. Can't feel my legs right now. Oh. Yeah, it's just ba, 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 da, da. Number 3 is working through the darkness experiences with stability and continuously doing that until you don't have to. The next shows working through that experience with the realization of the soul, consciousness of the heart, consciousness of the soul, consciousness of the heart, consciousness of the consciousness of the soul. We are the keys that we have been seeking. We are the light. And we are worthy and ready with the realization that we are the solution to open up the door of our hearts, to heal from the past, to be in the present, to be able to expand the soul to the heart and the consciousness. That is if you chose number 3. The other one is oneness integration, oneness within the integration for a relationship that is on the outside spectrum of what is regular and familiar. So it has to do with, is that just a relationship? I think it's only for a relationship. Being centered, being expanded, and being ready to allow others to come in, but also putting up healthy boundaries for the protection of the soul and the heart consciousness. Doesn't show that the being is yet ready. It doesn't seem like the same relationship level. The next shows 4, stability in relationships and working with La Lune, working with the integrations of each of the lunar phases. And it's not really a phase, each of the visual ability to see La Lune, to the experience of what it feels like, being that you're a part of the water, you're a part water. How does it feel? How do you feel with the journey of the stability in the relationships? And what are you doing in that journey? Because beings are not always exactly the same. Some moments they change a bit. They're just a little bit different than they were in the past. And then they come into another spectrum. They could be happy. They could be going through something emotionally. They could be focused on something. And being in the flow with that experience and really emotionally being present can help the relationship have stability. That's if you chose number 3. And I don't do the last 2. I think I'm going to do like an intermission or something really fast, okay? Is that okay? I'm going to do an intermission. I'm going to put on a song. Because I need to like stretch. I just can't just sit here for this long. Like that. Reminds me of like driving hours. Okay. I'm going to put on one of Chlorophyll's beautiful compilations, Gifted to Play. And hopefully it's beautiful. Yeah, some of them are like super power, like it's beautiful too. Alright, let's take a moment. Oh, my body. So, chlorophyll synchronous. And artists Thank you, Chlorophyll, for this intermission. It does sound like an intermission. It's like, welcome to the ship. We have arrived. Okay, if you chose number 4. If you chose number 4, shows being hungry for a healthy relationship, one that is passionate, energetic, compassionate, and in tune with the soul, the heart, and the consciousness. Shows one that is loving, like a parent would love a child, like someone who loves so deeply. That's like a good parent that actually loves like children, which is important. You know, it's like a wish. Working through the integration. So see, oh, it has to do with twin flame energy also. And if it's not, then it has to do with a relationship that's like a soul's mate, but it's not a twin flame, but it really is close to, but it's more so about the love for each other. That it's a love that's been continued more than one lifetime or more than one life experience. And it has to do with the crown chakra into the loin. Having that passion through the intelligence. So having someone who's intelligent and wise is a plus, for sure. The next one shows relationships that are spiritually have stability. Spiritually have stability. It's like a tongue twister. Showing peacefulness in the relationship. Shows a deep inner womb healing expansion through the relationship that is so divinely sacred. It shows the core of like a beginning orb of a soul, and then integrating together inside of a beautiful womb of light, and then becoming each other who you are individually, and being able to really love each other in such a way where you don't even have to talk with words. It's felt and acknowledged. It's really precious. The next one says that working on self-love, and it's with the number 6. I said the letter 6. It's the letter 6. I'm from America. I went to a private school. So it's with the number 6. And shows heart healing for stability and positive changes. With the 6, it shows pain from the past experiences. Shows having to work on self-love, really turning inwards and allowing self-love to occur through the pain. Taking moments for you to heal you, for you to love you, and give yourself a bath, give yourself a nice hot shower with something that smells nice on you, or take moments to lay and massage yourself and love yourself and take care of yourself. Soak your feet, clean out your nails, do something to take care of yourself and show yourself that you love yourself. One of the self-love techniques is one of many actions that just naturally occur on someone if they're healing their heart. So if you've ever been devastated or ever been having to heal heartache, it's natural to hug ourselves. It's very, very natural. So it goes over the areas where you could see, if you feel them, that they're warm. Those are the areas that have to be worked through, to heal through, to remove the energies of grief. And then loving oneself. And then so it's protecting, with the crossover there, it's protecting from continued attacks. And it's really much doing self-healing, pushing light in, self-love, self-care. The next shows relationship stability for positive changes. It does. It shows a 5 and a 2. 2 and a 5 together is 25. which makes us 7, which says that the experiences have already happened and occurred, and there's resistance now. So it brings stability because of the resistance. It's a beautiful relationship because there's positive changes occurring in the relationship. I'm not sure why they chose to do that particular hand color with that particular hand gesture, but I am going to pretend like it's not racist. Maybe that's why they put like plants and leaves and things on them. But it shows resistance. It was a distraction. I didn't even notice that until I was going to be putting it up on the video, and then I remembered. I was like, hey, that looks like... so resistance against the tyranny through anything that could possibly change the relationship or in a negative way, to instill the stability for the positive changes necessary by being conscious through the journeys and being gentle through the journeys, also being nurturing through the journeys. The next one shows 3 and 5 together, which is 35. Put 5 and 3 together, and it makes 8. So it's a sustainable solution for change. It shows Thunder Moon. Wow. I like that picture. It looks like a fun pose. Please speak about I'll take a moment when I'm laying to respond to your messages and requests, so that I can do so and be comfortable also. The next one is 35. 35, we already talked about it. And with change comes an integration of sustainable expansions for the heart, soul, and consciousness together, integrated with the energy of multiple planetary beings working together with the thunder energy to help turn in the heart space to a level of strength and not weakness or vulnerability. It shows more like it has to do with fighting off others' attacks on your heart, but you are being strong and stable, and there's a strength and stability inside for self-maintenance to bring about stability and positive changes within the journey, for kind of like a new chapter of a book, but with a whole nother different type of vibration that we have it charged up, and it's really an expansional change because it has to do with self-maintenance, self-care, passion, and the integration of consciousness of the soul. The next one is nutrition. It shows 7. Congratulations with the 7s. It's really beautiful. That's a fun one. What is that? Cheese? Like, it's not cheese. It's cute though. It's cute. It was a cute idea. So it shows that there's plenty. There's plenty of nourishments. There's plenty of sustainable solutions, and thriving, abundance, receiving in what the abundance is, because the abundance is coming forth in multitudes. If you look around, you'll see the growth of the herbs, the growth of the plants and the trees and the flowers. See what is growing, see what you're able to nourish with that is healthy for you to receive. Go to sacred places and gather, but you have to start working on what you're nourishing with so that you have the amount of nutrients necessary to be healthy and to be able to feel like you can function. It's extremely important right now because the soul is on a journey of expansion. For many of us, we are expanding our souls into our entire vessels as light beings, and each of us are supposed to be expanding our souls in our vessels to be bright, to be conscious, to be happy, to be healthy, to be vital, and sustaining solutions together as a team, as a ohana, with the intentions of gardens. We each have so many gardens in our global realms. There's different types of gardens. Some are cactuses, which are delicious and filled with nutrients. And if you know how to grow them, then have them as like a forest of cactuses if you can. If you can't grow anything else where you're at, because they're really nutritious and delicious. And there's other ones that grow too that are like desert flowers that are nutritious as well. But you have to look up what ones grow where you're at to be able to find out which ones are good for you. You can't just be like, oh, I found some dandelions online, and then you're like, they don't like the habitat where you're at. So you have to be really careful what you're planting, where you're planting, and how you're planting them. Otherwise, I suggest co-ops, or you go to farmers markets to get your nutrients, because they have really, really healthy produce and sustainable solutions with that. There are places globally that have private nurseries that provide some of the herbal supplements, like jars of powders of healthy nutrients that are all very pure, organic options that have not been sprayed with chemicals and are actually sustainable. And I think that that's extremely important for those of you who can make your gardens, to make your gardens. If you can't, then you have to find a clean source to nurture yourself with. Remember, dear loved ones, to do a detox and a cleanse of your intestines, and you'll be surprised what comes out of you. Some of you who eat like animals and salad from stores, the fact that you should for sure do the cleanse, especially if you had a lot of bloating in the stomach recently, you're really gassy or flatulent. If there's pain, any sharp pains in certain areas of your stomach when your food's digesting, you need to be really conscious to check yourself, check the toilet before you flush it, so you can see what's going on in it. And those of you who are working on your abilities to open up and to feel conscious in spirit, it's very, very important for you to acknowledge your soul. So just take moments to do that. I welcome you just to breathe in really fast before I complete the video. Just breathe in really, really deeply. Who are you? What color is your soul? What do you love most about yourself? What do you wish you could accomplish within your own heart journey to heal yourself enough to love you the way that you feel you are ready to love you? Thank you, my love. It's Shan.